One last match to cover this week. We knew this one was going to get ugly. Barcelona 6, Rosengård 0. Tough break at the 15-minute mark after Aitana Bonmatí, ESPN's number one women football in the world, by the way, slides across through that ricochets for an own goal. Rosengård had some early fight in this one. They came right back down. Less than a minute later, Hanna Andersson almost evens the match, forcing Sandra Paños to make the save, which knocks off the woodwork after Paños gets hands on it. Probably one of Rosengård's best chances of the tournament, but unfortunately, that was their only shot on target all evening, so you already knew what time it was. Rosengård put up a pretty competitive first 20 minutes, not the first time that's happened against this Barcelona team. This one was still 1-0 after 36 minutes. 37th minute, though, Salma Paralluelo slides in. Just the slickest of finishes off a killer assist from Batlle. Kind of reminded me of the Katoto finish. Just like the footwork to be able to take the pass and turn the pass into a shot just through some fucking wild tap dance shit. 2-0 Barca. I think that was right about when I knew where this one was headed. Batlle gets on the board in the 44th, squeezing one into the top corner from just outside the box. Kind of funny to see Rosengård's entire team almost all playing inside the 18 and being like, oh, damn, we forgot that they can also score from outside the box too, because they were all just packed in and the ball just kind of scoots over all of them to find the back of the net. Bonmatí, a few minutes later, gets in on the action, notching Barca's fourth assist to Lucy Bronze on that one. 71st minute, both Esmee Brugts and Claudia Pina both draw fouls inside the 18 on the same play. I'm not sure who actually got the whistle. So who steps up to take the penalty kick? Mariona Caldentey, of course, because why not? Sure. The only drama left here was seeing who handicapped this match better. Would it be my Barca minus 4.5 or your Barca minus 5.5? A high drama surrounding that. And let's see, who hasn't scored yet? How about 19-year-old defender Martina Vila? That works. Let's get her on the score sheet. 6-0 Barca, minus 5.5. Comes in. Gamblers everywhere rejoice. We talked last week about Barcelona's 14 different goal scorers across 11 Liga F matches. Well, in this one, 5 different goal scorers, 4 different players notch an assist. The depth of talent on this Barcelona side just continues to be a fucking joke. Like, they're just, how do you game plan for a team like this where you don't even know who's going to play? I don't think Oshoala gets in the game. Putellas is not out there. Like, it's just Caroline Graham Hansen. I don't even know if she played. If she did, she didn't really do too much. Talk about it could just kind of come from anywhere. Zooming out at this point, now that we're halfway through the group stage, seems like Lyon and Barcelona are kind of a cut above. Barcelona maybe a half a notch higher. I still have them like number one in my power rankings after 3 group stage matches. But what the fuck do you do against this team?
It doesn't look like much, man. And I think you're right. I mean, it might be bigger than half a notch above Lyon. I don't want to be like prisoner of the moment or anything like that, but they're completely unstoppable. You're right. CGH doesn't get in the match. Oshoala doesn't get in the match. Doesn't matter. There's so much quality. I think you nailed it too with Caldentey at the end. It's like, oh yeah, she's on the field too, huh? So she'll just bury this PK. Like,
get her out of here.
Yeah. And so credit to Rosengård. They hung tough, especially early in the match. The opening goal is that own goal, which is, just feels like a killer. I think the own goal happens in the 16th minute. As the clock is going past the 15-minute mark, I'm like, okay, not bad from Rosengård. Nice showing here. And then obviously the own goal like almost immediately happens. But I think there are times, you mentioned the save from Paños on Rosengård's best chance of the match. That could have been an equalizer. Paños makes a great save. She's forced into a great save. It clips off the crossbar. I've said it, I know, like a lot of our football conversations where I'm like, man, if that equalizer goes in, you just like never know like what changes, like the energy, the attitude. I can tell you with pretty good confidence, if that equalizer goes in, I think we have pretty much the same result here. I think maybe instead of 6-0, we have 6-1, or hell, you might have just pissed them off and you might end up losing 8-1 because Barcelona is just attacking you from everywhere. Everybody's unbelievably skilled. Everybody's on the same page. Paralluelo is a complete nightmare to deal with. Like that little like slick one touch. I think as I watched it back, if I saw it correctly, as she's facing the goal is off to her right. So she's off to the left of the goal. The ball comes in. She plays it off her right foot. So the ability to, you have to like open up your foot so wide, almost like you're like badly slicing a golf shot. Like you have to open up the club face so much for her to tuck it into the right side of the goal. Just even to understand the physics of how to touch the ball that way as it's coming onto you at speed. As I watched the replay, I was just like, this woman is unreal how great she is. I don't know if we're talking about those ESPN rankings of the best women's footballers in the world. We are a year away. We are 2 years away from Paralluelo being number one with a bullet, because she's too fast. She's too strong. She's tall. She's smart. She's a great passer. Everything about her. She is a perfect footballer. I think I've made this comp before. She looks like Thierry Henry out there, man. Like she is, and she is so much faster than everybody on top of all the skill. Unbelievable player.
I mean, she's only a borderline world-class sprinter, so
What I'm saying, like, come on.
So she's ranked number 5 on ESPN's list at 19 years old. I had the comp during the summer that I want to say that you recoiled when I dropped the Mbappe comp. I was like, this looks like Mbappe to me. 19, showing up at the World Cup, like, yeah, I'm out here. But imagine being on a Batlle and being like, I can fire in this ball right at Paralluelo's feet. And she'll know what to do. She got it
every time.
And it's just like a click of the heels, and the ball's, like you said, crosses the goalkeeper, backside of the net, like just filthy.
Unbelievable. It's a double-edged sword for Batlle also, because she's got to be standing there like, and she does. She makes her mark on a lot of different matches. But there have just got to be times where she's like, hey, I'm over here. I'm world class too. I'm one of the better players in the world too. It's just like, God, it's nearly impossible to keep up with the shuffle of just unbelievable, like limitless talent that so many of these players have.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because the way that Batlle plays, kind of selflessly, like, I'm excellent, I'm world class, I'm good. I'll just do my part. I'll send the ball where I want to send it. I'll create chances for us. It's just as good. If I'm one touch away, I'm getting these assists and I'm creating and we're winning, I'll take that.
Yep.
Total professional, always seems to make the right play. Just such a valuable piece. And I actually think that might be what gives Barcelona, in my mind, the edge over Lyon. Because obviously we mentioned like those 5 attacking players for Lyon, terrifying. But with Barcelona, like the attack starts earlier. Like the offensive prowess starts a lot farther back. And it doesn't matter. They can kind of beat you on the break. They can beat you from outside the box like Batlle did. They can beat you from inside. They could, draw fouls. They'll fire in crosses that turn into own goals. Like they just have so many different ways to beat you. They don't even have to send out their best players. It's just like ridiculous. No. They're just like, all right, like full disclosure. I didn't even recognize all of the players, because I'm not like this locked into Liga F.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, who's that? like a couple different times. I'm like, all right, who's that number? So-and-so. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. And in the interest of full disclosure, like I knew Patricia is a great player, but I didn't know she had it like that. Like that shot that she hit. I was like, oh, another one who could do that. Okay, great. And, like I make my allegiances known. I'm not like fully in the tank. Obviously, I'm way in for SK Braun, but I mentioned my home squad here is OL Reign. So I do have a little bit of an interest in Olympique Lyon playing well as the parent club to the Reign out here. But I just think as great as Lyon is, I think one of the things that I had thought about, I don't think I mentioned it when we talked about that group, but like Lindsey Horan and Eugenie Le did not appear in their match.
That's right.
But you raised the excellent point here. Barcelona, Caroline Graham Hansen, one of the best goddamn players in the world, doesn't appear in the game. And neither does Asisat Oshoala. So I don't even know when those teams come to play each other. Whenever this happens, and one might suspect it could happen in the knockout stage, I'm not sure how the bracket's going to break out, could be the final. How are you going to get all those players on the pitch at the same time? And who are your super subs? And how's that going to look? But we can't even look that far ahead because these groups are so competitive and so great, kind of outside of Barcelona walking to a group victory. And it's funny to even say that Barcelona is going to walk to winning this group when they're on 9 points and Benfica's on 6. On paper, you would think, oh, it's not that far apart. That's why we watch the games, bro. Because it is. It is that far apart. They are horrifying for any opponent that steps on the pitch with them.
100%. Yeah, Benfica definitely playing for second. And Barcelona had their way with this Benfica team last year at the group stage, just mauling them in the 2 matches where they played. Great call out to, I didn't mention Lesomer or Lindsey Horan. Melchi Dormarnay, another one on that Lyon side that, Vicky Beccio, just whatever. We'll see. It's going to be interesting when we get to the knockout stage because it's not really going to be best 11. And I think that's been the most interesting evolution of the women's game. It's not like, all right, let's look at the roster and we will know who wins. There are the individual matchups that really matter.
Yep.
One match scenario, 90 minutes, like knowing that you're going to go up against a Wendy Renard. Like, now what do we do? What's the game plan? Like, do we want to have like Paralluelo attacking? Do we want to have Oshoala? Like, do we want to like play from deeper out? Do we want to try to work the ball in? How does Graham Hansen play into that? Are we going to be able to carve Leon up the same way that we've been able to do against the other teams? Or do we want to run? Do we want to make Wendy Renard run? And I think like that's where it gets really, really interesting. I can't even think that far ahead. Like, I think this week coming up is going to be fucking banger after banger. We've got at least 4 or 5 games on the slate that, I don't know, I'm going to have to find a way to slot all these into the schedule.
We got to see. I mean, we talked about the Wednesday before Thanksgiving being not a productive day in American society. Coming up this week, something tells me end of the week going to be not super productive for a lot of America in general. Not that I would ever not be productive in my job.
No.
But I will say I have the benefit of I work with a lot of school employees as a labor organizer. That's chiefly who I work with. And a lot of them are going to be on winter break. And they don't want to talk to me during that time. They say, Grant, we like working with you. Don't fucking call me for a couple of days so I can at least enjoy my break. Don't give me your idea, your harebrained ideas, all these throughout all the break. So I appreciate them for that. So maybe I might be able to sneak in 1 or 2 matches. I do think I'm going to have to watch most of them on delay, stay off social media, stay off of the FOTMob app, just make sure that I'm not checking any scores, and then I can watch the games and try to enjoy them in real time. But you're right, man. There are so many great matches left to be played. We can't even think about the knockout stages because there is a lot of different pieces that are yet to play out. We don't even know how these teams are going to really position themselves before we get there.
How about Group C, where legit props to you if you could predict the 2 that are coming out of that group, and bonus points if you could predict the order, and take a little tip from your boys. If you're not watching these matches live, do not watch the later match first. They will spoil the scores from the earlier one. I got caught up on Thursday. I'm like, I got to watch PSG Roma. I don't care. Like, I need to see, obviously, patron saint of the show, Attaccante Italiana Valentina Giacinti, and see if PSG was going to show up, which they did. Props to them.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, I got to watch this. And wouldn't you know, within 10 minutes, I knew the scores of the first 2 matches. I was like, last time I do this. So watch these things in order if you're not in the privileged enough situation to be able to watch them live. Stay disciplined. Stay focused.
Much like PSG.
Yeah. Anything else you want to hit before we get out of here?
I think that's it, man. I just think this is the greatest tournament in the footballing world, the Champions League, men's and women's. It's my favorite. Maybe I'll stop short of saying it's the absolute greatest. Obviously, the stakes of the World Cup are incredible. I love club football. This is delivering, man. Every week, these matches are delivering. And now we mentioned it earlier in our conversation. This pivot point of I get a rematch against the club I just played. I just have to imagine that is going to put us in position to get some absolute bangers this coming week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm dying to see how Chelsea respond.
Yep.
Roma, let's see what they've got in the tank. Frankfurt, I mean, like, let's fucking go. I just want to get to Wednesday already.
Man. SK Braun, let's fucking roll.
This is it. This is going to be their moment. I'm dying to see it. All right, man, I think we did it. It's been another episode of Into the Channel. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to watch or listen. Ratings and reviews always appreciated. At ITC_pod on X. Make sure to follow us at Into the Channel Pod on Threads. Huge thank you to my co-host, Mr. Grant Engel. Enjoy the football this week, man.
Enjoy the football, buddy. I'm looking forward to talking about it with you next week.
I'll be here. Can't wait.
See you later.
Later.